Will looked like a pro equine doctor, first giving the proud horse a shot, then laying the deceased on the ground. I definitely don't want to do this. Will opened his eyes and told Jack, "You wouldn't believe my medical history behind this." Following Will's clues, those two guys found little Peter, who used to work at the horse farm, and discovered he had a peculiar obsession with horses. Peter said he once got kicked by a horse and now his head is filled with golden thoughts that make it hard for him to see straight. As Jack handed over the photo of the deceased, Peter turned his head like a cheeky cat, carefully accepting the picture. "What a terrible time for this," Peter said as they exited the house. Jack decided to head to the precinct for a capture order and maybe grab some fries on the way. After the coroner took the body back to the lab, they found a chunk of dirt in the woman's throat. Guess she was a big advocate for green living. By testing the soil, they returned to the burial site and stumbled upon a death party, discovering dozens of bodies. Will thought, Peter must have the secrets of the bodies swirling in his mind. He knows who the killer is. Will and Hannibal returned to Peter's house, only to find it looked like a chaotic party had erupted, giving them a headache. Peter found the black horse lying in a pool of blood, heartbroken in absolute tragedy of the horse world. Suddenly, a man popped up, appearing to understand Peter's head injuries, and decided to give him a French brainwash. Very shortly, Peter's eyes started to glaze over, as though he was deeply engaged in conversation with his imaginary horses. Meanwhile, Will and Hannibal joined in just in time to see Peter stitching up the horse's tummy. I think this needs no explanation. Wanting to spare Peter any mental stress, Will wisely took him away while Hannibal elegantly lingered nearby like an audience awaiting a performance. Will brought Peter to another house and asked, "Why the fixation on this?" Peter chuckled. He simply wanted to let the guy experience the gritty life. At that moment, a finger slowly emerged from the horse's stitched belly, like the start of some mysterious magic trick. Next, two hands emerged too, seeming completely clueless about life on horseback. A man crawled out from the horse's belly, gasping for air, completely unaware that Hannibal was behind him, ready to perform a thrilling act. The man picked up a hammer to run, but Hannibal, suave like a movie villain, said, "Why not just go back? Your good days are numbered." Then, Will returned with surprise. The man instantly knelt, surrendering. "Oh, I was wrong. I just wanted to be a horse whisperer." Will was swiftly taken into the well-equipped treatment room, where nurses bustled about nervously yet orderly, as if they had transformed into experts in genetic engineering. When the nurse turned to grab Will's chart, he calmly used a wire to unlock his handcuffs, ready for his grand escape. He struck toward the nurse's throat, as if participating in a direct medical duel. Then, with a flick of his wrist, Will made the nurse partially blind, while she desperately crawled toward the doctorally survivor of drama. Seeing this, Will picked up a chart rack from the treatment room, carefully aimed, thinking to himself, "Now this is quite a show." After the charade, Will decided not to tell Jack, knowing that the mystery of the Ripper was as tangled as a ball of spaghetti. 2 years ago, Jack chose assistant Anna, commanding her to assist him like an interrogation expert. After analyzing, Anna informed Jack the killer was like a chef, removing the liver and lungs while the victim was wide awake. Jack realized that the killer was deeply familiar with human anatomy, clearly not an amateur hobbyist. Back at the lab, the coroner found the killer's method similar to the Ripper's, instantly sparking doubts in Will's mind. That night, Jack received a call in his dreams, jumping into a scene with a fox. The voice on the phone was Assistant Anna, saying, "I was wrong. In surrounded by fantasies. Million help. In serious." Anna's voice resonated as if piercing through the barriers of time and space, echoing endlessly. The next day, Jack told his colleagues about his dream, but no one believed him. They thought it was a new script pitch. The crowd looked at Jack, thinking, "This plot twist is just ridiculous." The team playing detectives traced all telecom databases based on Jack's clues, only to find it felt like a game of hide and seek. In the end, everyone was baffled by the case, as if they'd stepped into a misty forest. After leaving the lab, Jack received another mysterious call, tracking it down like he was on a treasure hunt. The three gathered again, hearing a bell ring from a back room. It felt downright like a horror movie. Upon entering the room, they found a phone resting on a severed arm, alongside a note that resembled a horror script. Anna's fearful gaze left everyone nervously awaiting Jack's deductions. Next day, Jack received a call alerting him of a tragic fate in a hotel bathtub, but sadly, no one provided the antidote. Will and Jack rushed to the scene, discovering almost no blood left behind by the victim, like vanishing marks. The coroner added that the killer had not only taken the victim's kidneys but also wanted their heart and a takeaway order. Will began reconstructing the killer's crime process, closing his eyes as he imagined himself in the act of surgery. Everything around him seemed to flash back to before the incident, as if he were caught in a vortex of time. When he opened the door again, he saw a man ripping at his wounds, ready to shout, "Watch my performance." When the man saw Will, he rushed forward to greet him, but the two ended up wrestling together as if they had tripped at a dance party. Eventually, Will tossed the man into the bathtub, only to find out he had dozed off from too much blood loss.